Hey guys, it's Forsaken Reality here with the 30th episode of the RPG tutorial series. In this episode, we're going to be continuing with our dialogue components. So, in our last episode, we had it set up so that when we talk to them, we can click and we'll display text, but it's not actually displaying our text from our dialogue component. So, we're going to start by setting up that so it starts by displaying our text. So without further ado, we will get into that. We will also do a few other things like exiting our dialogue and set up a few things like our hovered. When we're hovering over the text, it will change the text a little bit, the color of it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to our blueprints, widgets, and our player dialogue text. Or no, our our player dialogue text, sorry. I want to go to our graph. And we can delete everything in here. And the first thing we're going to do is we implemented an interface last time that used user object lists, and it gave us some functions we can use. So we're going to want to right click this function and implement the event so that we have access to it in here. And this is going to be used to set our text per dialog widget from our player reply object. So you want to cast to your player reply object, which is what we created last time. We put it in our dialog. And also in here, we're going to want to click our clicked event and create a new parameter. This is going to be reference to the object, so whatever is passed through here when it's clicked will set a specific reference to the clicked reply, so that it will send, so that instead of sending the whole thing, it will send one specific through. And down here, we want to set a reference to our dialog, our player reply object. How we can use that. And we're going to get text, get our player text. Oh, we need to set our text as a variable. So now we can access it here. And we're going to set the text to the text of the player reply object. Text stored in player reply object to the player text for each dialog entry. So let's comment this set text. And we're going to go to our player text button, or not yet. We won't do that yet. Next, we're going to open up our player reply task. And we're going to set up our reply finished event. So the way we're going to do this is first we need to make some room here. Comment that. Find event to player reply finished. And we're going to add a custom event. I'm just going to break that. Go to event. We're actually going to create an event dispatcher. Call the player reply finish there. Basically, this will fire off whenever we click an option inside of our player replies. And this will run this event. And first thing we're going to do is cast. We're going to just Control C, Control V to get our dialog widget. Drag out of that. We're going to unbind event from player reply finished, so it doesn't continue running. That's basically what this does. And see that I'm missing something here. One second. Okay, I found the problem here. I'm just gonna compile that. I'm gonna get some errors, but I'm gonna go back to my dialog widget. And in my dialog widget, player reply finished. And we need to add an input here. And that's going to be an integer. It's going to get the index of our player reply. And I'm going to delete this quickly. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So now we compile that and player reply finish. Now our player reply finished. being ran when we click an option. And now we will run the unbind event player reply finished, and the event be the player reply. And now that we have access to our index here, we're going to get our player reply index from the Blackboard key. Set Blackboard key as an int, and then so it's an integer. Then we'll pass our player index integer into here. So I'll get the reply that's clicked, and it will send it to the Blackboard. And then we will finish execute. And make sure I want to tick on success. That will finish the task. Alright, now I'm just going to quickly test this out to see what's going on. We should have our text displaying. So we have yes, no, see you later. They're not clickable right now. Now we're going to set up the options for when we actually click our text to what it will switch to. So we're going to go to our behavior tree. And in here, I'm just going to move this over. And we're going to create a selector. And from here, we can choose which of our dialog plays. And basically, the way this is going to work is we're going to take our replies, and you can drag down, right click, and you can get your NPC talk. And this is going to be our reply one. I'm going to give them a name, give them an image, and it's going to change up the dialogue a little bit here. So have a few, so it's easier, it makes more sense when it's passing through. So you're going to ask for directions to the castle. You're going to say, where am I? And see you later for the third option. And we're going to be using our decorators to determine which one is, which reply it is, basically. So you right click on your task and you put on your decorators and you click Blackboard. And this will allow you to select between your Blackboard keys. And we're going to go with the reply index. So if our reply is 0, so our first reply, and we'll actually name that reply 0, then we'll play this text. And the first one we're asking, where is the castle? So castle is to the north, east. Just a quick random thing, there's no actual castle. So that's reply 1. And then we can actually Control C and Control V 2 times. Reply 2. Reply 3. Or reply 1. Reply 2. And the reason we're starting at 0 is because in an array it starts at 0. See 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. And what he's going to say here for the first reply is so you're in the right place. And reply 3 is just going to be him replying to see you later. It's just going to be bye. And so save this. Just going to test. I believe that should work now. No, it's not letting me click through. One moment. Look into why that's not happening. Okay, yeah, so I see what we missed here. So you want to go into your dialog widget. And we forgot to set up our unclicked event. Our clicked event right here, which will run when we click. So the first thing I'm going to do is create an event dispatcher, just so it looks a little neater for our clicked event. So now we can put this over here like so. And we're just going to get index for, we want to get our player reply list, and this is what we're going to get index for item, and our item is going to be whatever we clicked. Track that down. Trying to make it look as neat as possible. We're going to call player reply finished, and then we're going to return the reply index. So that makes sense there. And one more thing is this function right here is actually causing a problem that I'm going to need to debug later, but for now I found that if you take the function and drag it out and expand it, and you just delete the local variables on complete, delete this, and you plug this in like that, and then you drag to here, from here down to the array, and from here you want to skip that, and you want to grab this target for the binding event and plug it into here. If you tried running it before you did this, like you paused the video and just ran it, then you'd notice that your events weren't running properly. It was only working for your final button. But now if you do these changes here so that it goes clear items instead of your get player replies, it comes into the array that was in there. It sends things through like this. I'm just gonna drag this down so it's a little cleaner. And that should properly get your replies. Now if we run through, it's still not clicking. There's one more thing we're missing for sure. It's definitely something small. One moment. So I found the issue here. You want to go to your dialog text widget, and I forgot. I left out the a couple things earlier in the video. I was going to do the unhovered events, but I noticed that there's also the unclicked event that we need to set up, and that's pretty simple. So we set up the clicked reply object in here. That will send the specific object here. So you want to drag out all clicked. Maybe we could play all. Yeah, there we go. Call clicked. And our target is our click reply, and it'll also send the specific reply through. Now when we play, we should be able to pass through our dialog. Any directions to the castle's to the northeast. Well, can I help you? See you later. And it's printing out the first one, but it's allowing us to pass through. So I'm going to look into that bug now. And I just quickly figured that one out. I forgot that to actually, if you go into your dialog tree, you'll notice that your key value is 0, 0, and 0. So you want to set your key value for 1 and your key value for 2. And now you'll notice that we can enter the dialog. And he's still printing out the same one, of course. Small moment, I'll fix that. Sorry about all the bugs. I know that can get tedious at times. Missing little tiny things here and there. There's a lot that goes into the dialog system, so just bear with me. Alright, so it took a little while to find it. It was just some simple thing I overlooked. Basically, right here in our dialog tree for our player reply. For the player reply index, we didn't set the player reply index. So you set that, and it will now, and your indexes are set here. When I was debugging, it didn't make sense because I was checking the variable everywhere and it was sending it through, so it had to be something in there. And eventually found that missed. So where am I? You're right where you need to be. See you later, bye. So it seems to run through it properly, but you'll notice that it resets it every time. So we're going to want to set up the see you later event, so that'll create the exit. So to do that, we're going to create a new task. So to create the exit task, I'm going to go into our dialog tree, and we're going to new task, and you'll click the BT task blueprint base, and we're going to browse to this. We're going to put it in our tasks. So now we have another task that'll be BTT for blueprint for task. And this is just going to be exit dialog. And we're going to open this up. We're going to override our receive execute AI event. We're going to create a variable for our dialog widget, and that's going to be a Blackboard key selector. We're going to get our Blackboard value as an object. Pass to dialog widget. Convert that to a pure because it'll never fail. Call exit. And this will call exit event from the dialog widget, which is right here. And cast a dialog widget from the blackboard. And finally, we're going to finish execute. And that's going to be a success. So now we have our event created. Just going to get rid of those bubbles. We're going to want to use our event in here for a reply to. So the way we do that is we want to drag out of here and get a sequence. And drag your reply to up onto your sequence so that if your reply to index value is true, then it will run the text. Just trying to line these up so they're all in line here. And we'll also run the exit task. And instead of doing that, I'm just going to open up my tasks, which has access to all my tasks here. So if I want to do a player reply, I can drag down here. If I want to do an NPC talk, I can set up the NPC talk. But I want an exit task. And you want to make your dialog widget instance editable and expose on spawn so that we have access to it here. So now it should exit out when we click see you later and it goes by and it exits it out. And it should re-enable our movement and everything. Just going to check our dialog component. So we have our re-enable movement set up on our exit. I'm just going to control click to get rid of that. Get all of this and hold alt and click to break that. And I'm going to create an event dispatcher for our event exit instead. So it will look a little neater. I have everything labeled. That's gonna be everything for this episode. See you later. Bye. In the next episode, we're gonna finish up a few things, and I'm gonna show you a little bit more about the dialog tree. I've expanded a little bit, but this is about wrapping. We're nearly near the end, wrapping it up. The dialog system is basically working here. You can play around with that if you want. Set up some new dialog here. Basically just use your selector and you can run through the dialog. If you found this video helpful and want to see more, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any new tutorial uploads. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, feel free to leave those in the comment section below, or join my Discord community using the link in the description. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.